Okay, thank you. This is a little bigger than I'm used to. I tend to like smaller press conferences without so many people talking or praising everybody. But I do want to say, when I first was elected governor, I had some doubts about this project. And Lynn, you helped push, Lynn Shank, but also my wife Ann, who used to be a Republican. And when she said, no, you got to take this money and you got to build, the fact that she was a Republican gave me a lot of confidence, because I wasn't quite sure where the hell we're going to get the rest of the money. But don't worry about it. We're going to get it, and we've overcome a lot of obstacles. And everything, as you've heard, everything big runs into opposition. The Central Valley Water Project was stigmatized and attacked. In fact, California couldn't go forward. We were going to build, the state going to build the water project. We ran out of the money in the Depression, and we had to go to the federal government. So people do get pusillanimous. I wanted to use that word because that's the adjective I'm going to affix to all the critics. You can go look it up right now on your cell phone. Look it up. It's right there. Pusillanimous means weak of spirit. And the Golden Gate Bridge, that was attacked. The BART. Now BART is getting more passengers every year. It's vital because there's only 5 lanes on the bridge. And other than a boat, you got to take the BART to get across. So this is important. It's important. I went on a train. I remember it very clearly. It was 1943. My mother, who had asthma, took us to go down to Palm Springs, kind of see if she could dry out a little bit. Got on the Lark, and she and I rode down to Burbank or Glendale, I think it was, and then we took another train to Palm Springs. You could get a train at that time. In fact, there were soldiers on the plane. I remember it very vividly. There was camouflage as we went from Los Angeles into Palm Springs. Then we came back on the daylight. And I always remember those rides. I went to Japan and I rode the bullet train. And then when I was campaigning for president, I haven't really said this since my disastrous 1980 campaign, I got exactly 1 delegate from Wisconsin, and a very bold 1 delegate. Madison, that's the only place I get a delegate. Anyway, and then railroad cars and run them all around the country, so that the idea was that the Soviets could never find them. That was 35 years ago, and we're getting closer to putting people on a bullet train. And it's still going to take long. I mean, it's a kind of touch and go. Am I going to make it for the end here? I don't like it when you say 5 years to get this one and 10 years to get... No, we got to get a little quicker than that. And I'm going to do everything I can to make sure we get there, because I'm setting these goals now. 2030. 2030. You may think that's around the corner, but I'll be 92 in 2030. So I'm working out, I'm pumping iron, I'm eating vegetables. I want to be around for the 50% reduction in petroleum, the 6 or 7 million electric cars, the 50% renewable energy. By the way, this train is going to run on 100% renewable energy. So, Henry, you won't have to worry about our cap and trade because it's all going to be sun and it's going to be wind. We don't have to worry about it either, buying any allowances. Just get your good sun, and that oil price will come up again. And by the way, there'll be a big price on carbon by the time these trains start rolling. That's inevitable. So there's a real competitive advantage. And also another thing, as you folks get a little older, you get a little tired of driving, and it's stressful. And you can talk on your iPhone better. There's no anti-texting rule on the trains. So that's another reason. If there's no other reason, it's because you use your iPhone and enjoy it. And you can have a martini or whatever you people drink. There's an amenity, there's an efficiency, there's a sustainability on the type of fuel. There's a protection of the air. There's a protection of the land because you don't use as much land. And with all the other stuff about carbon and soot and all those chemicals that cars emit, there's also a big barrier that puts a limit on how many cars. That's called congestion. You can only have so many lanes, and you can't keep paving over prime agricultural land, and you can't take property off the tax rolls any more than you have to. And I know there are a lot of critics, and that's part of the world. Critique is the engine of the academy, of the newspaper industry, and a lot of our American culture. And it's important. We need to be critiqued, whatever the hell that word means. I don't know why they just say criticize. Sounds better. But we listen, and we change, and we modify, but we still can build. And we have to build. When you look at Europe and the stagnation, they're trying to do financial technology, find more ways of borrowing money, printing money. At the end of the day, it's not about paper. It's not about that way the Federal Reserve. That's important. But you got to put something in the ground. You got to get these building trades, men and women, doing stuff. That's what makes America, what makes the world go around. All these projects are a little bit, touch and go all the way, because you'll always have critics. Why spend the money? That's what my inclination is not to spend a thing. But on the other hand, I like trains. I like clean air. I like to protect as much of the land as we possibly can. And I like to enjoy the comfort of trains. Other things I like to get up on a train. I like to walk around, go shake hands. Can't do that on a plane as easily, and you can't do that in your little car as you look in the rearview mirror. But a train, it's sociable, it's amenable, it's the future, and it's happening right here in Fresno, California. We've got a lot to be proud of today.